Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is to say nothing, to walk away, to not explain, to not react, to be still. In a world that constantly demands your attention, your energy, your emotions, there is a kind of freedom that comes from withdrawing, not to escape, but to reclaim yourself. This is the story of conscious unavailability, of emotional sovereignty, of choosing silence over noise, and inner peace over constant reaction. We're taught from a young age that being kind means being available. Being liked means being agreeable. Being loved means being there. Always. But what no one tells you is that this kind of constant availability slowly erodes your sense of self. You say yes when you want to say no. You answer messages immediately, even when you're tired. You comfort others while you silently break down. Over time, you don't know who you are without someone else needing something from you. This is where Carl Jung's ideas become important. He spoke about individuation, the journey of becoming your true self. And to become yourself, you must sometimes let go of who others expect you to be. Jung called it the persona, the mask we wear to fit into the world. It helps us survive socially. But the problem begins when we forget that it's just a mask. When we start thinking that the person who always says, "I'm fine," is really fine. When we believe that being liked is more important than being real. This persona becomes heavy. We perform kindness. We perform patience. We perform strength. But inside, we feel lost, tired, unseen. This is why conscious unavailability is powerful. It allows us to take off the mask, not for the world, but for ourselves. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it is the presence of peace. It's the space where you no longer need to explain your worth. When you become silent, people notice. They wonder why you're not reacting, why you're not answering like you used to. Some will get upset. Some will try to pull you back into the old version of you. But here's the truth. Silence makes people face their own noise. Your withdrawal shines a light on their dependence. Your calmness reveals their chaos. Your stillness is your strength. As we choose silence and step back from constant availability, we embark on a journey Carl Jung described as individuation. Individuation is the process of becoming who we truly are, beyond the roles and expectations imposed by society. It's about integrating all parts of ourselves, the conscious and the unconscious, to achieve wholeness. This journey often begins when we feel a disconnect between our inner self and the persona we've presented to the world. By withdrawing and reflecting, we start to shed these external layers and connect with our authentic self. In our quest for self-understanding, we encounter the shadow, the parts of ourselves we've repressed or denied. Facing the shadow can be uncomfortable, as it brings to light aspects we'd rather ignore. However, acknowledging and integrating these elements is crucial for personal growth. By doing so, we move closer to self-acceptance and inner harmony. Jung introduced the concept of the persona, the social mask we wear to navigate the world. While the persona helps us interact with others, over-identifying with it can lead to a loss of authenticity. By becoming aware of our personas and differentiating them from our true selves, we can engage with the world more genuinely. Emotional sovereignty means taking responsibility for our feelings and not allowing external factors to dictate our emotional state. By practicing conscious unavailability, we protect our energy and focus on our well-being. This doesn't mean isolating ourselves, but rather setting healthy boundaries and choosing where to invest our emotional resources. Solitude offers a space for introspection and self-discovery. In moments of quiet, we can listen to our inner voice and gain clarity about our desires and values. This period of reflection allows us to realign with our authentic selves and make choices that resonate with our true nature. After a phase of introspection, we return to the world with a renewed sense of self. We engage with others not out of obligation, but from a place of authenticity. Our interactions become more meaningful, and we attract relationships that honor our true selves. There is a quiet kind of power that comes from no longer reacting to everything around you. It's the power of self-awareness. When you become conscious of how your energy is spent, who drains it, where it leaks, and what triggers it, you begin to understand the value of silence and distance. You begin to see how often you gave away parts of yourself just to be accepted, liked, or understood. Carl Jung talked about individuation, the process of becoming your true self. And this journey often begins when you stop being everything for everyone. It begins when you no longer let guilt, fear, or obligation dictate your actions. You start to live in a deeper rhythm, one that flows from within instead of being pulled by the chaos outside. Conscious unavailability is not about avoiding people. It's about being rooted in yourself before reaching out to others. It's about being present with your own thoughts and feelings instead of constantly trying to fix, help, or please others. In that space, something powerful happens. You begin to reclaim your emotional freedom. Most of us were taught that love means always being there, that being a good person means always being available. But what if that version of love came at the cost of our peace? What if the need to always respond, always care, and always show up for others was draining our life force? You see, people don't just want your time. They want your attention, your energy, your emotion. And if you're not careful, you'll find yourself burned out, anxious, and emotionally fragmented because you gave too much of yourself away. This is where conscious unavailability becomes essential. It's the act of choosing when to give and when to hold back, when to speak and when to remain silent, when to show up and when to withdraw, not from fear, but from clarity. Silence teaches you more than noise ever could. It teaches you about your patterns. It reveals who only values you when you're useful. And it forces others to face the parts of themselves they project onto you. Sometimes, when you no longer play the role others expect, they get angry. But that anger is not yours. That discomfort is their confrontation with their own unmet needs and unresolved emotions. And in those moments, your silence becomes sacred. It is not cold. It is not punishment. It is protection. It is presence. The path of conscious unavailability and individuation is not always easy. It requires courage to face our shadows, patience to sit in solitude, and strength to uphold our boundaries. But through this journey, we find a deeper connection with ourselves and a more authentic way of being in the world. Remember, it's okay to step back, to be silent, and to choose yourself. In doing so, you honor your journey toward wholeness.